بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of ninth section of Al-Isharat wa al-Tanbihat, and today we start with chapter 4. This chapter is not directly related to Maqamat al Arifin, to the stations of the mystics, but because we talked about the worship of ascetics, mystics, etc., so Ibn Sina thought it is a good place also to remind ourselves of the need for religion, why we need religion, why we need prophethood, why ibadah or worship is prescribed. So to be always strong in our aqaid is very important. Even for irfan, you should have a strong basis and foundation in aqidah. So this particular chapter is something that is a typical way of purely philosophical proof for the need for prophethood, something you can find in many books by Masha'un, peripatetic philosophers. So as usual, what we do, we first read the text of Ibn Sina, and then we will go to the commentary by Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi rahmatullah alayh. Al-Fasl al-Rabi' Isharatun. The fourth chapter is Isharatun, is admonition, and in some versions they have put here as a explanation. Maybe it was not in the text of Ibn Sina, but they have added something which is helpful. They said في إثبات النبوة والشريعة في إثبات النبوة والشريعة. So this fast is an admonition, is a hint to proof for prophethood, Nabuwa, and Sharia, need for religious law. So first let's see what Ibn Sina says. Ibn Sina starts with first explaining why we need to live in society. We need to live together. Al-insanu madaniyun bitab'ah. Human beings are social by nature. Maybe not like insects, for example, like bees or ants, that by instinct, by ghariza, they live together. Maybe we don't have that kind of instinct, but by very simple and quick thinking and reasoning, we come to this conclusion that we have to live together. I hope the difference is clear. An ant doesn't need to argue that is it better for me to live in a group or for example, honeybee doesn't need to calculate, doesn't need to argue and consider pros and cons. They go for it by instinct. But maybe for us is not that much natural when we say betab, not in that sense, but in the sense that it's very simple for us to understand this, that if we want to live in a better way, we need to live together. If we want security, especially in the past, when they were afraid of, animals, wild animals, etc. They had to live together to protect. Also, if you want to have comfort, if you want to be able to take care of everything that you need, you cannot do it by yourself. So the first step is to say that we, by nature, or you can say by very simple way of arguing, we can come to the conclusion that we should live together. We should have social life. This is the first point that Ibn Sina wants to make. And of course, then if we live together, we need something to keep us committed to justice, because people, if they want to go by their nature, maybe they want to be free to do whatever they want, maybe they want to take rights of other people, maybe they don't want to commit to anything, they don't want to accept responsibility. So we need something to keep them together, brings order, brings justice, and this is why we need a law. And that law must come from someone who has the right to be obeyed. So that must be a prophet who has signs and miracles to show that he is the one that we need to obey. And in that religion, then there must be a law, Sharia, and if you follow, you will be rewarded. If you don't follow, there would be a punishment. And also in the hereafter, you have reward, but in this world also you would have order, etc. And then extra things for urafa. And then the need for ibadah is in order to remember, and repetition is in order to establish our ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is basically the whole idea that Ibn Sina wants to say. But the very first thing is to establish that we need to live together as a community or as a society. لما لم يكن الإنسان بحيث يستقل وحده. حيث is mabni, and this is why I say بحيث. When it is added to a sentence, it's mabni. لما لم يكن الإنسان, since man is not in a condition to be independent. In what? بأمر نفسه يستقل وحده بأمر نفسه. To be independent in take caring of his own affairs means man cannot independently take care of his affairs. إلا بمشاركة آخر من بني جنسه, unless there is partnership with someone from the same type, another human being from our own category. There must be other people that we can have musharaka, partnership, collaboration. بمعاوضة ومعارضة. One of these two is mu'awadha. So there is a typo. بمعارضة ومعاوضة تجريان بينهما. Khaja also explains. Inshallah, we will see. There must be mu'aradha wa mu'awadha. Mu'aradha wa mu'awadha are different. Mu'aradha is they give the same thing, is an exchange, and both of them are working and doing similar things. Mu'awadha is, no, I do something, you do something else. For example, I make more bread, you make maybe more, I don't know, cheese and butter, and then we can exchange. I teach, for example, your child, you may, for example, look after my health. So this is mu'awadha. muawaza, exchange of goods or exchange of services. So there must be mu'arada or muawaza that carry on between them, between this human being and another human being. يفرغ كل واحد منهما لصاحبه عن مهم. Every one of these two, and of course we don't live only as two, it can be 10, it can be 100, 1,000, million of people, but we are just starting with another person. Each of them should free himself and take care of some mission for his sahib, for his companion, for his friend. Muhim is something which is important, something which matters, a kind of mission, a kind of task. Faraga yafrogo means to be free, but also means to intend to do something. So here either it means that one of them should free himself on behalf of or for the sake of his friend to take care of a mission or a matter, a task, or one of them should pay attention to this on behalf of his friend. In any case, they should decide among themselves how to divide the tasks. لو تولاه بنفسه لازدمهم على الواحد كثير. If he wanted to do it himself, so I do something and leave something for my friend. The same with him. He does something, leaves the other for me. So when, maybe we can also say it in this way, when I leave something, my friend, I distance from something and leave it to my friend, the advantage is that I don't become too busy. If I wanted, لو تبلاه بنفسه, if I wanted to do it myself, to take care of it, to become mutawalli of this myself, means to undertake it by myself, on one person, لازدهم كثير, many things would come for one person. I have to imagine if I had to make the farming and then make the flour and then bake the bread, grow animals and slaughter them and butcher them and cook them. I don't know. I need carpet. I need, if I wanted to do everything myself, I could not. Either it was impossible or it was very, very difficult. لو تولاه بنفسه لازدهم على الواحد كثير. So he would leave something. Maybe this translation is also better than some translations that have been said, that each of them would leave something for his brother or for his companion, so that he would take care of it. Because if he wanted to take care of it by himself, too many things, multiple things would have come to one person. وَكَانَ مِمَّا يَتَعَسَّرُ إِنْ أَمْكَنَ. And this would be very difficult if possible. إِنْ أَمْكَنَ. Maybe it's impossible to one person does all these things. But even if it was possible, it was very difficult. Okay, so since man cannot independently take care of everything that he needs, and he needs partnership with someone who is another human being through exchange, etc., وجب أن يكون بين الناس معاملة وعدل. It is necessary that there must be among people interaction. So So people have to interact with each other. Living together, but not just living next to each other without any interaction. There must be interaction. وَعَدْلٌ, and there must be justice. Because if they live together without justice, soon one of them will finish the other, for example. They cannot continue, or others would decide to run away. Society cannot continue. So وَجَبَ أَنْ يَكُونَ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ مُعَامَلَةٌ وَعَدْلٌ. There must be among them interaction and justice. يَحْفَظُهُ شَرْعٌ. What safeguards this is, this justice is safeguarded by Shara, a code of law. Who sanctions, who introduces this code of law? يَفْرُضُهُ شَارِعٌ. A lawmaker or lawgiver, Shara Muqaddas, here, Allah, of course, under Allah the Prophet, he must give this code of law. يَفْرُضُهُ فرض يَفْرُضُ. يَفْرُضُ sometimes means to impose, sometimes means to obligate. Here you can say, to sanction, to introduce this code of law. شارع متميز باستحقاق الطاعة. A lawgiver must sanction this shara, this code of law, who is distinguished, who is not like others. He has some special position. متميز باستحقاق الطاعة. This lawgiver is distinguished, is singled out by deserving obedience, has the right to be obeyed. He's wajib al-ta'ah. How he is given this position? Because every person can claim that, I have to be obeyed. No. لاختصاصه بآيات تدل على أنها من عند ربه. He must have exclusively signs that indicate that his ta'ah, his obedience, is from his Lord. Means Allah has given him this right of obedience. He has to have some miracles that can prove that he has been given this right by Allah. Because no person can demand obedience of others except if either they themselves accept this or Allah gives them authority. For example, our parents, Allah says that we have to obey them. Rasulullah, Allah says we have to obey him. Imam, Ulul Am, we have to obey them. But they get their authority from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can come and say, you must obey me. If we ourselves agree, it's another thing. For example, we choose among ourselves a leader. Or for example, we choose among ourselves certain rules and guidelines, and we say, okay, we have to go by these rules and regulations. Or we, for example, form a government and approve of constitution, and based on that I have to obey certain things. But this is voluntary, and therefore we have difficulty if majority demands something from minorities when minorities have not approved that. This is a problem in a political system which is not getting authority either from all people or from God. If all people agree, that's fine. At least they agree on the constitution, that's fine. But if 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, they don't accept this constitution, how we can give ourselves right to ask them and force them to obey. Maybe you can say there is no other way, but why we cannot go by law of God, or why we cannot, for example, go by consensus, at least in basic things, or delay the process and try to come to consensus. Anyway, this is about theory of politics. So what is important is that this person has signs that تدل على أنها من عند ربه, that his ta'ah is coming from God. God has given him this authority. ووجب أن يكون للمحسن والمسيء جزاء. Okay, now that we have code of law, we have a lawgiver who must be obeyed. If some people obey and if some people don't obey, what happens? There must be jaza. There must be recompense. من عند ربه القدير الخبير. From the same Lord who has given this authority to him, there should be recompense for good doers and wrongdoers. بحمدك يا إلهي بدأت قولي وجئتك خاضعا. فوجب معرفة المجازي والشارع. So it is necessary to know the one who gives the jaza, the one who gives the recompense, and the one who is the lawgiver. And in addition to ma'rifah, ومع المعرفة سبب حافظ للمعرفة. We need to also have, in addition to ma'rifah, something that can preserve ma'rifah. This understanding or awareness or recognition, as Khaja, we will see inshallah, Khaja explains, that in common people, in lay people, or it's better to say common people, in awam, is many times not very certain. It's not yaqini, and not backed up with strong arguments. So we cannot leave it by, just leave it to chance, because there's a great chance that they may lose it. So we need something that can preserve this ma'rifah. One thing that can really establish what you know and make it well rooted is ibadah. فَفُرِضَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الْعِبَادَةِ. Then ibadah has been legislated and has been asked for ma'bud, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is going to be worshipped. And in order to make this really established, we have to repeat it. وَقُرَّتْ عَلَيْهِمْ لِيَسْتَحْفِظَ التَّذْكِيرُ بِالتَّكْرِيرِ or لِيُسْتَحْفَظَ التَّذْكِيرُ بِالتَّكْرِيرِ. And this ibadah must be repeated so that by takrir and takrar are the same. By repetition, this reminder can be established and it remains in our heart. وَعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. حتى اشتهرت الدعوة إلى العدل المقيم لحياة النور. And this is why the call towards justice, which can establish the life of humankind, is well known and famous. If we go to please to the next page. حتى اشتهرت الدعوة إلى العدل المقيم لحياة النور. So the call towards justice, which can establish life of mankind, has become well known. ثم زيد. Okay, so we have adl, which is something that can make us able to last and survive. But زيد لمستعمليها بعد النفع العظيم في الدنيا الأجر الجزيل في الأخرى. But if someone benefits from this, in addition to having adl in dunya and all the benefits of this in dunya, they would have great reward in the hereafter. So not only we can secure their justice in dunya, we can have also great reward in the hereafter. So adl in dunya, ajr wa thawab in akhirah. ثم زيد للعارفين. But then for those who are mystics, there is something more. Mystics have something more, because mystics, in addition to this, they have kamal, as Khaja will explain. They have something more, and this is khussu biha, exclusive to them. So زيد للعارفين من مستعمليها means arifin have been given something more than those who benefit from this da'wah, and that is al-manfa'a allati khussu biha, a benefit which is exclusive to mystics. فيما هم مولون وجوههم شطره. And that manfa is about something that Urafa submit their face and turn their face towards it. Something that Urafa really want. That kamal, real perfection that they want, that closeness to God that they want, they achieve. So they have adl, they have ajr and thawab, plus they have that perfection and nearness to God. Fandur ila al-hikmah. So here, look at the hikmah of Allah, the wisdom. ثُمَّ إِلَى الرَّحْمَةِ وَالنِّعْمَةِ. There is hikmah here, and there is mercy here, and there is blessing here, bounties here. تَلْحَظْ جَنَابًا. So if you look at this wisdom and mercy and bounty, تَلْحَظ, you would then see جَنَابًا, a majesty, an excellence, تَبَهَرُكَ عَجَائِبُهُ, whose wonders would amaze you, would dazzle you. ثُمَّ أَقِمْ وَاسْتَقِمْ. Then أَقِمْ means rise. أَقِمْ نَفْسَك, for example, establish yourself. وَاسْتَقِمْ, and be steadfast. Istiqamah, have istiqamah. Okay, this is what Ibn Sina wanted to say. And after that, we go back to our discussion about Urafa, what Urafa want in their life, etc. Very beautiful discussion, inshallah, in the next chapter. Now let's go to commentary by late Khaja Nasir. First, he has his ideas, then he refers to what Fakhr Razi has said, Fazil Shareh, and refers to the idea of Fakhr Razi and evaluates that. So we go back to page 60, the footnote of page 60. أقول, Khaja Rahmatullah Alayhi says, لما ذكر في الفصل المتقدم, page 60, footnote, yes. لما ذكر, yes, it's here. لما ذكر في الفصل المتقدم أن الزهد والعبادة أنما يستران عن غير العارف لاكتساب الأجر والثواب في الآخرة. Since Ibn Sina mentioned in third chapter, the previous chapter, you remember previous chapter was a distinction he made between Zahid, Abid and Arif. But then we said these can be mixed and combined. We can have Arif who is Zahid and Abid. And then we explained that what is then Zuhd for Arif, a Zahid who is Arif and Zahid who is not Arif. What is Ibadah for someone who is Arif or not Arif. We explained all those. So, because in the previous chapter, Ibn Sina mentioned that asceticism and worship only happen from non-mystic because of what? Means the only thing they happen from a non-mystic is to acquire reward in the hereafter. So, because of that, he decided to prove that there is such a system that there would be reward. أراد أن يشير إلى إثبات الأجر والثواب المذكورين. He decided to refer to the proof of having that reward. Ajr and thawab are the same here. So, because of that, he quickly gave us a proof for the need for religion, because that ajr wa thawab can only be proved if you can prove that there is religion. So, فَأَثْبَتَ النَّبُوَّةَ وَالشَّرِيعَةَ. In order to prove ajr and thawab, he proved prophethood and divine law. وَمَا يَتَعَلَّقُ بِهِمَا, and everything that belongs to these two. So Nubuwwah wa Sharia and وَمَا يَتَعَلَّقُ بِهِمَا, and whatever belongs to these two, is related to these two. He proved it على طريقة الحكماء, not through mu'jiza or theological ways. Purely rational. Of course, when you want to be purely rational, you become very limited. It doesn't have that power that, for example, arguing from Quran or other miracles may have. But it's something that every human being who is rational, by nature, can understand. لأنه متفرع عليهما, because إثبات الأجر والثواب depends on what? On إثبات النبوة والشريعة. So عليهما means نبوة والشريعة. وإثبات ذلك مبني على قواعد. And if we want to prove that there is Nubuwwah and Sharia, we should establish few rules. Now we want to list for you step by step these rules. وتقريرها أن نقول, its articulation is to say الإنسان لا يستقل وحده بأمور معاشه. Human beings cannot be independent in taking care of their livelihood and affairs of their life. No person can do everything by his own or on her own. On his own or on her own. لأنه يحتاج إلى غذاء ولباس ومسكن وسلاح لنفسه ولمن يعوله من أولاده الصغار وغيرهم. Because every person needs food, needs clothes, needs accommodation, some kind of weapon for himself and for those who are his a'ila, who are under his care, including small children and others. Maybe his parents, I don't know, maybe he has a big family to look after. He needs for them food, accommodation, clothes, weapon, medicine, equipment, etc. وَكُلُّهُمْ صَنَاعِيَّةٌ. And all of them are sanai, they have to be made. You cannot, go and pick up everything from a tree. Your clothes and, home and everything. It's not like that. You have to make them. كُلُّهَا صَنَاعِيَّةٌ. These are all to be made. They are to be crafted. Maybe some natural food, only for example fruits, or for example fish, but even fish, you need a way to take the fish. But rice, bread, etc., you have to process them. So it's not easy and it's not ready-made. لا يمكن أن يرتبها صانع واحد. All these things are sana'iyya, have to be crafted. They are sana'i means sometimes means artificial, sometimes means industrial, but here means they have to be crafted. And no single sani' maker can arrange all of them. إلا في مدة لا يمكن أن يعي. Unless, for example, he wants to spend few years, but in this period of few years till this become ready, he cannot live without them. How is going to protect himself without having salah? How can he protect himself in winter or hot of summer without maskan till he makes everything by himself? لا يمكن أن يعيش تلك المدة فاقدة إياها. He cannot live all this time without them. أو يتعسر إن أمكن. Or it is very difficult if possible. So either it is not possible, or if it is possible, it will be terribly difficult. لكنها تتيسر لجماعة يتعاونون ويتشاركون في تحصيلها. But it would become manageable and easy for a group of people who cooperate and يتشاركون, they share, they form partnership for acquiring these things. يفرغ كل واحد منهم لصاحبه عن بعض ذلك. Each of them, as I said, there can be two ways of translating. Each of them would take care of something for his companion, or it's better to say each of them would leave it to his companion because he wants to take care of something else. فَيَتِمُّ بِمُعَارَضَةٍ وَمُعَاوَضَةٍ. This is where I said, one of them must be mu'awadha. بِمُعَارَضَةٍ وَمُعَاوَضَةٍ. What's the difference? معارضة means they do the same thing. أن يعمل كل واحد مثل ما يعمله الآخر. Each of them do what the other one do. For example, maybe when it comes to cooking, they all cook. But mu'awaza is exchange. هي أن يعطي كل واحد صاحبه من عمله بإذاء ما يأخذه منه من عمله. Each of them gives to his companion, to his friend, from his action something, and in return he takes something from that person's action. So what he has produced, he gives and takes what the other person has produced. فَإِذَنْ الْإِنسَانُ بِالطَّبْعِ. Look at how Khaja speaks. He explains the meaning of madaniyun بالطبع. He doesn't say we are like ants and honeybees. He says al-insanu bit-tab'i muhtajun. Need is natural in us, not that by nature or by instinct we go to society. and social life. We decide to go to social life. فإذن الإنسان بالطبع محتاج في تعيشه إلى اجتماع مؤد إلى صلاح حاله. So mankind by nature is needy in his life. For what? He needs a society that would lead to improvement of his condition. Salah hali, his condition would be sorted out, would be improved. And this is what is meant by their saying al-insanu madaniyun bitab. Human beings are social by nature. You know, some people have said al-insanu haywanun madaniyun bitab. Instead of haywan natiq, haywanun madaniyun bitab. We are an animal. Each of us is an animal. As philosophers say, we are, nabat and haywan, plus on top of that we have nafs natiq. Some people say we are haywanun madaniyun bitab. As I said in some lectures, Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli says al-insanu haywanun muta'allihun. Ta'alluh from ilah means we are an animal which is deeply seeking connection to God, is engaged in theology, but not only theology as a knowledge, but also seeking God. In any case, you can use different ways to explain the difference between human beings and other animals, but one way is to emphasize on the social aspect, but not, as I said, not necessarily by saying that it is part of our nature, so that in the same way that we have to breathe, we have to, eat and have food and drink, etc., we have to be in society. No, in the sense that we have this need, we have physical need, even we have psychological need to live together, and we make a decision then. هو المراد من قولهم الإنسان مدني بالطبع والتمدن في اصطلاحهم. تمدن, which is now translated as civilization, or in current Arabic they say حضارة. Madaniyat, we say in Farsi, or civilization. They mean this. They mean to be together. We are talking right now about the basic level of civilization, that is to be together. فهذه قاعدة. So this is one rule, one of the rules that we have to establish, because we said إثبات ذلك مبني على قواعد. If you want to establish Nubuwah and Sharia, we need certain rules to be established. One rule is this, that we have to live together. Okay, now that we have to live together, we need what? We need law in order to help us to have justice. ثم نقول واجتماع الناس على التعاون لا ينتظم إلا إذا كان بينهم معاملة وعدل. It seems وعدل is missing here. معاملة وعدل. People coming together for cooperation cannot be going well unless there is interaction and justice. We need to interact, because we cannot just be next to each other. We need to interact, but we need also justice. Why we need interaction and justice? لأن كل واحد يشتهي ما يحتاج إليه. Because everyone desires what he or she needs. So there is a shahwa. They want to have what they want. وَيَغْضِبُ عَلَى مَنْ يُضَاحِمْهُ فِي ذَلِكَ, and would get angry with everyone who is conflicting with him. For example, he wants to take this water, this spring of water. Another person says, I want this spring of water. He wants to take this, I don't know, bird. Another person, I want this bird. So they may get angry. وَتَدْعُوهُ شَهْوَتُهُ وَغَضَبُهُ إِلَى الْجَوْرِ عَلَى غَيْرِهِ. This lust or lower desires or appetites in general and anger, they call to injustice towards others. If you are not careful, if you are not going by a code of law that explains everything, there's a great chance that you become careless about the rights of other people, or you try actually to take their rights for your own benefit. فَيَقَعُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ الْحَرْجُ وَيَخْتَلُّ أَمْرُ الْاجْتِمَاعِ. Then a kind of chaos happens, and the social affair becomes in difficulties, in trouble, get into trouble. There would be problem. أما إذا كان معاملة وعدل متفق عليهما لم يكن كذلك. But if there is interaction and justice which are agreed upon by all, there is no problem. فإذن لا بد منهما. So we need muamala and adl. Okay. Then والمعاملة والعدل لا يتناولان الجزئيات غير المحصورة or غير المحصورة. Muamala and adl cannot deal with every particular thing. This water, I don't know, this land, that grass. We need to have something general. We need general laws, not particular instruction. So there must be قوانين كلية. There must be general, universal laws. وهي الشرع, and that is shara. Shara is a code of law. Whoever, for example, revives a land, من أحيا أرضا ميتة فهي له. If there is a land which is not used, you go and cultivate this land and revive it by planting something there, you can use that land. This law saves our relations from injustice or from fighting with each other. فَإِذَنْ لَا بُدَّ مِنْ شَرِيعَةٍ. So we need a Sharia, code of law. What is the meaning of Sharia? Sharia literally, originally, is where people get close to the river in order to gain water. Normally, riverbed is lower than the surrounding land. So sometimes you need a passage to get into the water. That is called Sharia, the way you get access to the water. So الشريعة في اللغة مورد الشاربة is a watering place, and the reason it is called Sharia, Khaja says, is لاستواء الجماعة في الانتفاع منه. إنما سمي المعنى المذكور بالشريعة. This code of law is called Sharia because everyone can benefit from it, like the water, that everyone can get access to it through this watering place. So this is the second premise. The first was the need for society. The second is that now society needs a code of law. And this continues. I like to continue, but then I want also to have some time for you to ask questions. So maybe I stop here because anyway we cannot finish whatever all the things that Khaja has said and then Fazil Ishara. It takes time. So inshallah next session we can finish this chapter. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.